Told you. Told you. Told you. Told you. You are God design, God design.
Good evening, board buddies. What's the deal? Good afternoon. What's the deal, board buddies? We back again with another live episode. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I'm your host. If you don't know what's going on, you have made it to the place to be. Are you a Boerboel lover? Are you a Boerboel fan? Yes, I am the Boerboel guru. Here we aim to arm you with information. Knowledge is power, right? Not only as a sword, but also as a shield. Hold on, let me make sure we got everybody in here. Go live on Instagram. I forgot to do that. What's the deal, board buddies? Hold on now. Can you hear me okay? What's the deal, board buddies? What's the deal, board buddies? What's going on? How's everyone doing? We made it back again with another week we survived. And I'm so excited to be here. Listen, I'm so appreciative of the fact that we made it again. We back. I'm your host, Jordan Pittman, and this is the place to be. If you love Boerboels, grab your chair and sit down. Hold on, let me see something. There we go. Here we go. So now, today we're going to be discussing again, the top 5 dogs of 2025. This is my list of the best dogs. We're going to get straight into it. And if you don't know what's going on, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. This is the Boerboel Show. And I'm your host, the Boerboel man, Jordan Pittman. My name is Jordan Pittman. And I love these dogs. You know why? Because this is the best breed on earth for today's modern society. Why do I say that? Well, because it has all the virtues that you love about a dog to the max. That's what a Boerboel is. It's everything that you like about a dog times 10. I mean, they big, they strong, they capable. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you don't have a farm, so you don't need a border collie. Right? You don't need a dog that's running around trying to herd sheep and trying to herd everything. You want a dog that's an ideal personal companion. That's the way that we live in 9 times out of 10 today's modern society. And I feel that the Boerboel is the best dog for today's modern society. And that's just the way that I feel. And I'm going to tell you why. Not only have to tell you, I could show you. I could prove it to you today. We're going to get started with the top 5 Boerboel dog stud dogs, and not in any particular order. I know everybody's been waiting for this moment. So have I. 2025 is coming through a close. I hope everybody had a great one, a super duper 2025, and then is looking forward to 26 even better. Hey, look, don't even get that far ahead of yourself. I would try to I would think about the present moment, and I would just worry about that and try to make the most of it, just like a dog does. That's one of them things that I learned and I picked up from the dogs. You know, we live in the moment. That's what a dog does. I'll be feeling like I done learned so much from I'll be feeling like sometimes I'm a dog. I mean, well, I'm not a dog, but I'm training the dogs. And then the dogs are training me. And then, so I've learned a lot because of that. Things like great compassion, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. As always, we're going to touch on raw dog food a little bit. We're going to talk about the current state of the Boerboel breed, because we want to make sure that we all is on the same page going into 2026. The type of things that what I'm seeing, and then going to report on some of those details. We're going to talk about creation, seasons in dogs. It's a lot to be picked up. Like I said, we're here to arm you with information as a shield to defend yourself, also as a sword, so you can know what you're talking about when you do open up your mouth. So here we go. We're gonna get into it. Um, Starting off with the top 5 Boerboel studs. Now, these are not limited to exotic Boerboels. You know, I'm also a Boerboel enthusiast, and I go on the internet and look at dogs all the time. And people send me dogs, and then we discuss potential breeding dogs that we might want to use for breeding and so on, things like that. Um, and so I've compiled a list. You're not going to see anything like this anywhere else on the internet. No, the breed clubs and associations is not going to publicize your dogs like this. This has no one. I have no one contacted me on the side. I'm not doing anybody any favors. This is has no, as you know, and if you don't know, it's Zadi Boerboel Family. We stand on our own. We're not associated with any other camp, so it's not like that. We didn't go out and just choose to deal with our friends. So I'm gonna make that being said, this is purely about what we have seen from these dogs, what we like and what we seeing. And for it to be a stud dog, it's got to, certain criteria. We'll get into that, but let's get into these dogs first. The first dog that I'm going to talk about, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but he's a star. He's a stunner. He might be a sleeper. You might be sleeping on him. If you don't know. This dog is bred by Estes Boerboels. Okay, now that's an old school Boerboel breeder from way back in the day, and this breeder has been around at least 15, 16 years. The dog is owned by Kellen at Zooland Boerboels. He's always active with the dog. I love what I'm seeing from this dog. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the dog because he's producing. He's a reverse brindle. And if you give me 1 second, I'll get a picture up here for you. If you just give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me get the pictures up. Because, seeing is believing. And I want you to see what I see when I'm looking at this dog. I feel like, what's up? Chase Money in it. Like, what's going on with my people? I hope everyone is having a fantastic week getting started. So far, it's just Monday, starting it off with a blast and making the most of every minute and every chance you got. Chase Money, what's good? What's up, big dog? Barakati? What's happening? Yes. We talking about that ultimate family dog, y'all. We talk about the dog that we love. That's we so crazy about. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about, dog. Let me upload one. Please forgive me, but it's gonna be well worth the wait. Trust me. Let me see here. Hold on now. It's gonna be well worth the wait. The dog's name that we were trying to see. His name is. Let me see. Hold on. Talking about the top 5 studs, y'all. The top 5, my top 5. Keeping the breed going, keeping it up. So where is he? There he is, right there. And if you look at this dog, it's a lot to like. I mean, look at his structure. Look at the strength in the hips. You see the abdomen is tucked in. It's not extended. Around the neck and the back, he's got that muscling that we love to see. Look at that thickness in his forearms, that alert expression, the tail set. I mean, there's a lot to like about this dog. Not only is he a exceptionally good looking dog and very well cared for. Shout out to Kellen at Zooland Boerboels, but he's producing. He's having puppies. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we consider when we looking at a top stud. Coming up next, I'm gonna show y'all this dog. I don't know if y'all familiar, but this is Mr. Roman Price's Biko. I've seen Mr. Roman Price again is a busy on the farm with his dog. The dog is active. If you look at his proportions, there's a lot to like there. I like that nice box square head. Look at the muscling in the neck, in the chest, the thickness in the bone. And then, like I said, the dog is producing. He's active and plays a role in Mr. Price's pack on the farm. Evidence of true Boerboel temperament, the type of things that we would expect, that criteria as a Boerboel in South Africa. They're not going to have dogs that can't fit in a pack, and if they're going to use it for breeding, so that would be a defining characteristic. The dog would need to be able to fit in with the pack. Biko has shown evidence of that characteristic and trait, showing true breed characteristics. That's evidence of the history, true to the nature and the history of the breed. Now here comes a real deal, super duper sleeper, y'all. And I know this dog, not many people have seen him, but let me tell y'all, this is a special dog. Every time I see him, I just get excited. This is Aries, the Boerboel. I don't know his lineage, I don't know his history, I don't know his pedigree, but he's out there in Las Vegas with Eric Dean 319 on Instagram. That's where I got this flick from. Shout out to Eric Dean 319. The dog is Aries, the Boerboel. If you looking for a dog that would exemplify the true nature and characteristics of the Boerboel breed, I would have to say Aries is it. I mean, he really is the modern version of that throwback dog that you don't see anymore. He's got the muscle, the physique, the chiseled muscle, bodybuilder like physique. If you go to Eric Dean 319, ERICDEAN 319 on Instagram, you can see this dog. He got some puppies. He got some that he produced that was even better than himself. So that's something that we always look for in a true stud dog, our ultimate stud dog. Indication of a stud dog is, can he produce? Like I said, if these are type of dogs that I consider worthy of breeding, or I would look at as potential stud dogs that include into the exotic Boerboel family. So this is one of the ones that I have been eyeballing, and I think that is a very serious potential contributor to the breed in a positive way, and could influence the exotic bloodline the way that the direction that I'm shooting for. This dog is working. If you see what Eric Dean does with the dog, he takes him and runs him on a bike. You know, that's right up my alley, the type of things that I love, the athleticism that I like to see. This dog is moving. Okay, he's not just a big dog with a beautiful big head and stuff. He out there running and showing athleticism. And this is the type of things that we want to see from an African Boerboel. Not just a big dog. It's not an English Mastiff, just simply a Mastiff. This is Eric Dean at 319 on Instagram. His dog name is Aries. Get a feel for this dog. You don't know what you're missing out on. He is a sleeper. Coming up next, you might have seen this dog. If you interested in the breed, and if you enthusiast, you should know. You should have seen this dog by now, because he's been out here, and then this guy's been making some waves with his breeding program. He's down there at Cypress Bayou Boerboels. He's owned by Jason Drummer with Cypress Bayou Boerboels, and this dog is Lobo. He's bred by, I think it's Savage Boerboels. Lobo is really a head turner. If you look at some of the videos, he's big and showing signs like he's almost as large as of a human being. Jason Drummer's wife, I think her name is Nicole, and the dog is always like towering over. If you see, he's big as her, big as she is in size. I mean, it's in it pretty significant. This dog has got thick, tremendous amount of bone. Look at that substance in the front end, the mass in the chest, the neck, the shoulders. Look at that. The abdomen is not extended. We always like to see that in a Boerboel, that tucked in abdomen. You're doing a great job. I love what I'm seeing. Cypress Bayou, the work that they're putting in with the dogs. the content they keep it coming. So, big shout out to them. And then, and then to wrap it up, and this is in no particular order, but I had to throw one of these bad babies in there. Coming up next, hold on, let me get it together. Let me just make sure I got it all the way right, because this is a phenomenal specimen, and I want to make sure that we all can see what I see in this dog, and I'm super excited to share this dog with you all. One of the best dogs that I've witnessed in a long time, and that's just being fair to the dog. But his name is Diesel, and I mean, I was blown away, but I wasn't surprised when I saw him. I'm sure that you've seen him if you're a exotic Boerboel familia. If you're a exotic Boerboel, if you're a Boerboel enthusiast, and you just like me, gotta know where the best dogs are at. You probably ran into this dog. It's gonna be worth the wait if you haven't seen him. It comes from a bloodline. What can I say? It's the exotic bloodline. Give me 1 second and I'll have the dog up. But it's gonna be well worth the wait. But because let me get this dog off, because I don't want y'all to get it. Oh, I'm back. Wait a minute. Let me get this dog off of here, because I don't want y'all to get it twisted. This is about the dog that I'm talking about for sure. Okay, we talking top 5 stud dogs 2000. Both of them. And we're gonna answer everyone's questions too. Just wanted to know if I feed both the yeah, we're gonna get to that. Kinder Fisherman, we're gonna get to that soon towards the end. Like I was saying, this dog is well worth the wait. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna pull him up. But his name is Diesel. And if you haven't seen him, I mean, this is definitely gonna be a eye opener. And it's one of them things that you kind of want to say, I told you so. I had early predictions for this dog. I was, this is a bloodline that I had sought out for many moons. I had went after. I had very particular about the dogs that I include in the exotic Boerboel family of dogs. I have certain traits and characteristics, and we're gonna get into the selection process, the way that I identify a dog, and how you can use some of this information to influence your breeding program in the future, how to identify these certain traits and characteristics. We're gonna help you. Like I said, this is the breakdown, the Boerboel breakdown. As usual, we're giving you the news and the tools that you can use. Here he is, y'all. With no further ado, I'm pulling them up. Exotics Diesel. Oh. Ooh, you talking about a dog? That's a dog. You hear me? That is a dog. When they say command attention, a Boerboel is supposed to command attention. When they say that a Boerboel, good Boerboel, is supposed to be an imposing figure of strength. That's exactly what this dog is. Look at that headpiece on the dog. You see that big block in the front, that big old square block in the front, and then follow it up with a big old block in the back. That is the ideal head type. Now this dog is coming down off of Balto. That's a Balto son. And you see the improvement. Remember, Balto was a little easty-westy in the front. So we aim to correct those pasterns in the front, which is like that wrist area between the feet, the toes, and the knee, the toes and the knee, the elbows, the toes and the elbows, the wrist area. Wow, that's all I can say. And this is a natural physique. This dog ain't working out and doing all of this, doing a whole bunch of stuff. This is his natural, all natural. And beautiful neck piece on him. Look at the way that this is the symmetry. I mean, this is what we look for is out of Boerboel family. Oh no, here you go, right there. My fault, y'all. There you go. It's going in. My bad, board buddies. My bad. I had got distracted. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so this theory is, y'all, and a super duper dog, in my opinion. Not only is he phenomenal to look at himself, but he is also a producer, natural breeder, right? And that's something that you don't often see in this breed. A lot of the dogs are having to be collected artificial insemination. They're not able to detect when the female is in season. We're gonna get into seasons in a minute, but yes, this is a natural stud dog. So that's my top five. And there's some other dogs in there, and in no particular order. There's some other dogs that we consider Leviticus, notorious, but this is my preferred top five because we only could limit it to five. Maybe next year those dogs might make the cut, but we got to see some more from that. I mean, it left. There you go. My fault, Joshua. There you go. Yeah, but yeah. This is my top five. So let's get into it. How do you select a stud dog? What makes a dog a stud? What, because it's a difference between a male and a stud. And now I'm talking about a stud with these dogs. These are particular stud dogs. Like I said, it doesn't, I'm not, I don't, you notice that I didn't call out any one particular trait in any one particular dog. In each one of those dogs, you can see the identity of the exotic Boerboel division that we have for our dogs and our breeding program. What we're trying, our aims and our goals, what we believe is an ideal. The proportions, those dogs are from head to toe balanced in appearance. If you look at the symmetry, you don't see exaggeration. They all kind of is proper proportions. That's the best way that I can describe it. And it's not just if you look at each one of those males, you see a prominent headpiece, which is super important. I don't think that you can get away from once you get the small heads in your bloodline. I don't think you can get away from that. I think that that's like the doom of the doom of a bloodline. So I think, and that's even written into the breed standard. That's something that's preferred for all those standard fanatics. That is preferred. You gotta have the proper head. You can't have those mini heads in the Boerboel breed. I'm sorry, we just don't. It's just not something that I feel as can be corrected once that happens. Because the genes have been flip flopped, and you've got the top at the bottom, and the moms are very masculine, and then they deliver those feminine males, and it is oftentimes from these highly concentrated inbred morphin mutated bloodlines, and people just don't have a idea of what Mother Nature desires in terms of ideals. It's balanced. It has to be balanced in order for it to be complete and functional. Talking about the next generations. So we're getting into let's lighten up. Let's lighten it up a little bit, everybody. We're talking about stud dogs. Let's lighten it up. Woo, we done went way in. We might have to make this a triple double episode. But let's lighten it up a little bit, and let's talk about lessons that we have learned from our dogs. One of the things that dogs have taught me, I've taught so many things from my dogs, and I'm very appreciative of it. And someone had brought it to my attention, like, man, you act just like a Boerboel. And I started to think about it, like, you know what? I don't I appreciate that. I take that as a compliment. Thank you for sharing that with me, because a Boerboel is very faithful. A Boerboel is very loving. A Boerboel is a great a defender. A Boerboel is about the others, very protective of others. Um, and then a Boerboel is very intense. So when you when it situation calls for that type of intensity, there's nothing less than Boerboel. I mean, the Boerboel is going to eat, and he's going to when he makes his mind up that it's the time for action. He wouldn't want to let another dog. Um, so I take it as a compliment, and I've learned great things like dogs live in the moment. I keep saying that over and over again, because if you stop having so much expectations of the future, then what happens is you won't be let down as much, and you won't be disappointed as much. And that's why dogs have that everlasting happiness. Another thing that I pick up on is just enthusiasm. Dogs are always enthusiastic. And I think that that's become a part of who I am, because of living with dogs and being such closely associated. And I don't think that that's a problem. I think that that's a good thing, that we all could be a little bit more enthusiastic and energetic and excited about life. Come on, y'all, board buddies. This is our own. You don't know what could happen in the next things happen, change so fast. You know what? Cheer up. Cheer up. Seriously. That's one of the things that I picked up from dogs. Cheer up. You can pick up a lot from your dogs. So moving right along, because I don't want to get too long winded. I could talk about the things that I love all day long. Oh my, excuse me, boy buddies. Here we go. The next thing that we're talking about is generations. And I gotta clarify this, board buddies, because we talk so much about pedigrees. Pedigrees mean so much to us. Pedigree is like, oh, especially here in the West. I noticed that in South America they were doing things a little bit different. Wasn't as much of a purity. There wasn't so much influenced by these ideas of purity. That more was a way to identify traits and characteristics, so you can have reasonable expectations. If you can identify certain dogs that you um, favor, you may be able to call and talk to people that use the dog and get an idea of what was the dog really like, based off of their experiences and hands-on with the dog. You can identify breeding patterns that other breeders, you can kind of get a feel for their idea of or their visions with that, how they plan on using the dog or what they saw in the dog, and did the dog produce that. So it gives you an indicator of what you can expect for yourself in the future. And when you're looking at a pedigree, what you're trying to identify is this dog that's in front of you. So it means a lot more to a breeder than it would to the lay individual, just the pet owner. And just to get you a better idea of the significance of these generations and what to look for. I saw a young brother that's a breeder, and he's saying 7 generations in. And I went and looked, and I was trying to see what he had done was bred his dog 7 times to his dog, back and forth to the same dog 7 times. And it was like, so what you did was 7 repetitions, but you could label it however you want. And I just wanted to clarify that, because it is still a good way to identify what you're breeding, because you have a large sampling of those same ancestors. You have a large sampling, a lot of brothers and sisters to kind of compare. But you're not evolving your bloodline, but it does give you a large sample, a breeding pool, so you can take your ideal specimen, and you can identify weaknesses when you have a large sampling like that. And then you could take 2 or 3 dogs that you consider to be your ideal. But what you're looking for is your ideals, and the idea I got these headphones on, and it messes with my sensory. I can't hear everything. You know what I'm saying? So I be thinking I'm hearing stuff. But moving right along, boy buddies. Wow. It seemed like that first 20 minutes was that first 20 minutes went a long time, and then the last 5 minutes, the first 20 minutes flew past, and then here we go, y'all. Getting into this. Yeah, this idea of purity mixes generations. The idea in breeding, what we're trying to do is isolate our specific dog that we need. So you got to understand, what is it that you need? Why are you even getting a dog? Do you know? I don't think everyone understands that or even considers that when they get a dog. Why am I getting this dog? What is it? What has it been bred for, selected for many years, right? So you can take two dogs, right, breed them together, and then have an idea of the puppies, expectation for the puppies when they're born, the type of behavior, the energy level, the level of intelligence. All of those things are important because you're trying to breed, become, arrive at a pet, that fulfills a need and fits into your life in a certain way. And so, like I said, in these as we, and it's really a mindset. It's like based off of culture and this purity, and we got to get away from that, boy, buddy. We really do. We got to get away from it. Oh, we got to get away from that idea that we can ever be perfect or we can ever arrive at something that is pure. It's pure. We've been lied to, boy, buddies. And that's part of this whole reason that I'm on this journey. How I ended up here, because I had these questions about line breeding, inbreeding. What's the difference between that and incest from the very beginning? And no one wanted to answer these tough questions. So I had to do my own homework and research. But what I'm finding out is all of these dogs behind the scenes have been mixed up some kind of way. And that's what they always did. And it was accepted, and real people know about that. But you know what? They have to hide it. You know what I mean? And they have to do it behind closed doors, and they do it in secrecy, but not us. No, we're gonna do it straight up to your face. We're gonna let you know exactly what's going on, because we've been lied to, boy buddies. We've been lied to all this time. They've been fooling us. They've been telling us purity, purity, and it doesn't exist. It is not something that we could ever achieve. All of these dogs have been mixed from the beginning, and what we're doing is we're causing major problems. We're causing major defect. We're causing major issues from the very beginning. From the very beginning of time, people been picking dogs based off of need and purpose and function, because we might be herders, we might be hunters, we might be gatherers, and the dog would aid and assist in that. It was always a labor shortages, but then they came out with these machines and these farm tractors and guns. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have to use bow and arrows to shoot deers. And we didn't have to have our dogs dragging down bears and protecting. We had guns. But the things have changed. Things have changed. So now we got guns and we got pets. We ain't got those hunting dogs. We ain't got those that's going in holes and digging out badgers and digging out wolverines. We don't need a dog to do that. We don't need a dog that's so vicious it's going to go into a hole and dig out a wolverine. We don't need those type of dogs. Most people be getting them dogs that can do that kind of stuff and don't even understand. This Jack Russell Terrier, he was bred to go in a hole and dig out wolverines, dig out badgers, and dig out honey badgers, and dig out dangerous digging claws, stuff with claws, foxes and stuff. Boy buddies, Don't let them fool you. We know that this is a multi-generational cross that arrived with all of these different styles and types, and we love it and we celebrate it. Stop trying to stop trying to trick us and make us think that something is pure because it don't exist. Now we moving right into what was I saying? Talking about these mixes. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, boy buddies. Let me just get off of this. Pardon me. I need some help with this. If anybody knows somebody that can help me with this, please let me know. Because I'm trying to do better. Right now, it's just me on my own, and I'm doing the best that I can. So we was moving into raw foods, and it's something that I really want to discuss with y'all. Very important. Very important is the to understand this. There's a lot of different ways to do the raw feeding, right? So some people mix raw and kibble. And some people will try to tell you, oh no, that's not raw feeding. That's not the right way to do it. Well, I beg to differ. The other ways is prey model diet where we're trying to simulate. That's the model that I use. I'm basically rebuilding the whole body of a prey animal. So you'll see some days with our dogs, we feeding the whole deer carcass or we feeding the chicken carcass, where it considers that is composed of lots of bone and tissue and connective tissues. And so in the wild, the dog would eat that for a couple of days, and then we're going to add another days we're going to be feeding muscle meat and considerable amounts of organ materials, and that replicates what the dog would eat. It would go from these different stages and phases in feeding. You also have the barf diet that's bones and raw foods. So that might be berries, veggies, ground up, pulverized. And that's like Ian Billinghurst. This is his method. Dr. Ian Billinghurst, I think, was the one that made it. And bones and raw foods, the barf diet, BARF, that stands for bones and raw foods, or biologically appropriate species raw foods or something like that. And that also would be berries and the pulverized veggies and stuff like that, and try to simulate stomach contents, crushed veggies from prey animals, vegetable matter from prey animals. Which one is the right one? And I know a lot of people are confused by all of this different raw news. Let me tell you all the truth. It all works. Raw food is designed to increase the amount of absorption and nutrients. So anytime you add in raw to the diet, it's going to be better, and it's enhancing what you already have could possibly be feeding potentially. With that being said, I think there is no perfect 100% right way. The dog, remember, is versatile in his diet. He survived. He's a scavenger. He's gonna eat. He's gonna be able to eat a lot of different things and still be healthy or maintain some form of health. I think we get caught up too much in the idea that we need to feed the dog something special. He's a member of the family. We want to do right by the dog, but I don't think that it matters as much as it matters the fact that you're giving them something frequently. And I think that so I don't want people to lose sight of that. I think that I don't want people to lose sight of the fact that it's important that we feed the dog on a regular basis. Now, the outcome is the amount of waste period that we're gonna be cleaning up. When we feed it raw, the idea is a healthier dog, a stronger dog, a more lasting, long living dog, a shinier coat on the dog, a more defined the muscle that the dog can stand, the muscle that the dog is gonna hold on to. You can skip a couple of days and he's carrying that weight still. But then what happens is we get the idea of health confused with weight. And I just want to make this distinction clear. You heard it here first at the Exotic Boerboel TV that weight matters less It's not about fatness, it's fitness that we're looking for. So the ideal, we're looking for ideal health. So we're gonna feed the dog to make the dog healthier because healthier looks better, and we want the best looking dog possible because that's what we believe that they deserve. So that's the ideas behind feeding the dog raw and these all these different raw feeding styles because we're trying to give the dog the best that we can. Plain and simple. Yeah, I think that's about it on that. Best we can. It's not about getting the weight up. What's up, Boerboelism? My man, what is going on? What's up with my peoples? Did you get you ain't tell on, buddy. Well, buddy, ease. I'm gonna get to the comments later. I gotta I see y'all left some comments there when I was going in. Hold on, we'll get to those comments. Now we talking the state of the Boerboel breed. I think it's important to talk on this as we in this 2025 going into 2026 to understand where we stand in the Boerboel breed. The Boerboel breed is at a very critical state. We're 43 years in from 72 original ancestors. 43 years in, and that's a lot. I think we're starting to see from some of the supposedly to be most healthiest athletic master. We're starting to see some health issues. We seeing multiple early deaths, dogs not reaching 8 years, 6 years, even in a lot of cases. We lost Yogi, Balto, other notable dogs. Trying to think of the one dog that was a big boy, real big dog. We lost quite a few early. What is going on, my buddies? What is happening with our breed? We need to pay attention and stop trying to hide, sweeping these things under the rug. Just bring them to the forefront. Cardiomyopathy. You know how the pit bull is able to maintain these high levels of inbreeding. You know how they're able to eliminate weaknesses and sicknesses in hundreds and hundreds of years. You want to know why? You don't want to know how? Because they're evaluating performance. And that's something that we can learn that we should have been picked up on. You know, it's real sad what's happening in all these dogs. It's not just the Boerboels. If you look at the fate of many of these breeds, Dobermans, Rottweilers, Bull Mastiff, English Mastiff, all these breeds, Great Danes, they got some kind of issues. And there's no way around it, no matter how much they test, no matter how much they health analyze. I mean, come on, look at this dog that we just had recently, that 1 mil. Optimus Prime. Y'all remember Optimus Prime? Remember that big cream colored male that we had? You know, he come from multiple generations of health tested dogs. Yeah. Black Irons, Optimus Prime, with them cherry eyes and wry mouth. How did that happen? Where did that come? Where they do that at? Yeah. So what I'm saying is Don't let that be a food for no health pet. Don't let them make you think that they gonna solve all the problems like that. Because the truth is, it's inbreeding, mutations at the genetic level, resulting in defects, crippling defects. Since 1983, this dog been established. At some point, we got to start thinking about how we're going to solve these issues that we are going to be facing soon. Moving right on down. Wow, boy, buddies. We got to double up on the episode today, and it was only 8 subjects. We're talking about seasons. I think that I put this on the subject. Understand that a lot of what happens in breeding is seasons, and it's an evolution. So you got to have patience. You got to be willing to take your time. You know, you got to learn from your mistakes and prepare for next year. And I mean, I guess being from Cleveland and the Browns, we always next year. But for me, it's like preparation, being prepared. You can't. It's like part of a principles is one of them principles in life. Be prepared at all times. Be prepared. You never know when. You never know when. And there is no defense for a surprise. So be prepared. And remember that ant and grasshopper. He tilled that tune all summer long. He didn't even work at all. And when the winter came, he almost froze to death. If it wasn't for that little ant. So be like the ant and be prepared for the next season. That's what dogs do. You ever know they be digging and burying bones? That's getting ready for the rainy days, for when it gets slow. And then got something put up. Like I said, this is a lot to learn from a dog. It's a lot to learn from a dog, and then this too, in due time, boy, buddies. Because I know that a lot of us get impatient with these dogs, and we want it overnight. But let me tell you, your time is coming. Everybody gonna get a chance, and your time to shine is gonna come. So, many times, remember, why those ones that's got the spotlight for now, they ain't gonna have it forever. Easy. Your time is gonna come. Remember the way that you act when others was in the spotlight. Remember how you was acting. Remember that one day is you gonna be in that spotlight. How you want people to treat you. That might be off subject with dogs, but I think it's always on subject when we're talking about the dog life. Not just dogs, it's dog life. So moving right on down. And finally, we're gonna close out with creation. And I think I love the idea of this as something to talk about. Because the Boerboel is a creation. And let's keep that in mind, boy buddies. When you making your selections and because what we're doing right now as breeders and as pet owners and the way that we choose dogs is we determine the next generations of dogs that's going to be bred. And how does that happen? Why is that important? Well, it's important because we creating things. And the Boerboel was created. We created. And it's influenced by selection and what's desired. So when you talk to somebody and they tell you that I got a litter of puppies, And I'm about to get. I got these dogs. They're gonna be ready to go soon. If they serious about what they trying to produce and having something, they're gonna be able to explain to you why did they make this creation. Well, they should be able to. You should be able to, instead of just. We're buddies. I had fun tonight. I hope you did too. I hope that y'all picked up some valuable news and tools. I'm gonna answer these questions to get up out of here because I don't want to be late. We're buddies. Doggy, Bone. I appreciate you, Chuck. He said he mixed raw and kibble. Hey, boy, buddies, I had fun. I hope y'all did too. And if you don't know, we'll be back next week. Let me check us out. See what we got on this. We'll be back next week. We're gonna try to make it better. So if you want to know, you feel like you want to know, you feel like we could have did something to make it better, help us go farther. We're trying to get there. The same way we're trying to help you, help us. We all help each other. One hand wash the other. We help one another. Listen, the last thing that I want to say, I don't want to say too much. This is what I'm going to say, y'all. Silence. I found one of the things that I'm learning is say less. That's something I pick up on dogs too. Like, one of the things that I really like about my dog is I don't have to talk to it. It might sound crazy, but say less, boy, buddies. I think you might hear more if you say less. Until next week, y'all, stay tuned. Peace. I can't wait.
No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you got a deal run up. No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and now you got a deal run up. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam.